to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras. If you go to New Orleans, you ought to go see the Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Welcome to the first episode of Tales from the Parade Route. Tonight is a very special honor because not only is it one of our favorite parades, it's the parade that we ride in.
Yeah.
So tonight we have the captain of our parade, Missy, with us from Krewe of Excalibur. Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
So let's see, this year is going to be the 20th parade, the 19th year?
19th parade, yes.
I know that we started in 2000.
So we were formed in 2000.
Okay.
And we didn't parade until 2002. That was
Okay.
our first year. So we're prepping for our 20th anniversary.
All right. So this year is also a very special year because not only is it our parade day, but it's Valentine's Day.
It is Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we have our theme this year.
Yes, our theme is Knights Love Revelry, and it's all about things that people love to do, fun things that people like to do, like going to the circus or going to the casino or traveling, those sorts of things. Hot air balloons, things that are fun and lively that you can do with your loved ones.
So you've been the captain since its inception.
I have not.
You haven't?
Actually, no. My mom, Diane Brown, was the captain at its inception, and I was her co-captain. And when my son came of age, he became junior captain. 4 years ago, my mom passed the whistle, which is what they do in Mardi Gras when one captain turns over the captainship to another person. She passed the whistle the night of the ball, and I became captain. She became captain emeritus, and my son is now co-captain.
The parade, we roll in Metairie on the first Friday.
We do. We kick off the season, and we love that.
We were also the first parade to roll on the new Metairie route.
We were.
Going into that day, were you nervous about the public's reactions to the changes, or?
I really wasn't. I'm not somebody that is scared of change. I think change is healthy, and I think it's good, especially in Jefferson Parish with the struggles that we've had for years and years with membership and declining parades and that sort of thing. I was very excited about the new route, and I thought that it was going to breathe new life into the parades, all of the parades in Jefferson Parish. And changing the route and going from Bonneville to Clearview and rolling through Mardi Gras ended up being an amazing success. And I think every rider absolutely loved it. I did not have a single person tell me that they were disappointed.
Yeah, it was incredible
the
rolling
crowds
in.
were great.
It was a high
it
going in.
was high.
It was a bit of a high. It was really fun.
Yeah, and I'd ridden in years past,
Right.
where we were going the traditional Metairie route.
Right.
And one thing that I will critique about the old route was that towards the end, when it got so late, some of the crowds were a little bit thinner towards the end. And
That's true.
with the new route, I think it also, because you're rolling into a party, it gives it almost like that, like an Endymion extravaganza feel to
And
it.
on an obviously much smaller scale.
Yeah,
yes, but it did, and the route was shortened by a little bit less than half a mile, and so any of the people that you normally stood beyond Bonneville, they just moved up a little bit.
Yeah.
And basically what that did was it made our crowds much heavier through the entire route.
Right.
There was, even down to that last block right in front of where Houston's used to be, in that little area right there, the boulevard, I guess. Even there were still tons of people there as we were rolling into Clearview. So we were very pleased with the outcome, and I think overall the public's reaction was very positive.
Yeah, and I look forward to riding the route again this year.
It's going to be fun.
So we had talked about this year's theme. A question that, just as a rider and even as a spectator, would ask: how does a crew come up with a theme?
It's always a little bit complicated. So in our case, for example, we rent our floats from PJF Floats, Phil Fricano's floats. So he rents his floats to a number of organizations. So you can't have a different parade and a different theme for everybody you rent a float to. So one of the things that he tries to do is get our ideas, get the other captains and crews' ideas, and then try to merge them together in a way that we can each have our own theme, but the props and everything can be used over.
Right.
So in New Orleans, they do have a rule about they can only use a float twice. So he uses our floats on Friday night, and then they go to New Orleans the next day, and some of them ride in Choctaw and some of them ride in Sparta. And then on Sunday is the King Arthur Parade. So what we do is not going to be really reflected again in Jefferson Parish until the next weekend if Athena uses any of the same floats.
Right.
So that's where the differences are. So we do get to put some input in. Anytime a crew has an anniversary year or a special occasion for whatever it is, they kind of get first dibs almost, where, so if it's an anniversary year for Sparta, they may want to do something special. And then Phil will call us and he'll say, look, they want to do this. Can you try to work with that, with the theme that you pick? So, for example, next year for our 20th anniversary, I suspect that will kind of be the same case. Since it's a big year for us, we're going to probably want to do, just a traditional anniversary theme where we take themes from the past or specific medieval items or people or the culture or the food or anything Renaissance and medieval. We may want to take that as our entire theme because it's our anniversary. And then I suspect what he'll do is call the other captains and say, look, this is what Excalibur is doing. Can you work your theme with that? And then as a board, we sit together and brainstorm, and we just try to come up with something. Ours was really, really broad this year because we were just trying to keep it fun and light because of Valentine's Day. We wanted it to be fun and light.
Yeah.
That worked out with the other crews, what some of the other crews wanted to do. And so Phil was able to really work with our ideas. And some of our floats, we honestly, as of today, I don't even know what the theme of every crew float will be. I should be finding that out very soon. But they usually work on that through the summer. I've picked my maids, but that doesn't have any bearing on the crew floats.
Would you say that you have a favorite theme that you've ever ridden?
Chinese. Any Chinese theme I love. Yes, we did a Chinese theme. I can't even remember what year it was. Maybe our 10th year or somewhat, maybe the 10th or 12th year. And it was the prettiest theme, in my opinion, we've ever had. And that's just really because, in my opinion, you can get such vibrant, amazing colors. And everybody really is intrigued by the Chinese culture, I think. In America, I think they have an appreciation for it. And for us to be able to, as a business, interpret the Chinese culture into costuming, it's a lot of fun. And it came off really well, and everybody really enjoyed that year. And then that year we had fun things. We threw fortune cookies. We had custom fortune cookies made, and people bought thousands of them to throw. And each one had Krewe of Excalibur written on one side, and then you flipped it over, and it had a little fortune. And so we did some fun things with that theme. It was a good time.
I know some of the floats that we do have are very centered towards our theme,
Yes.
our parade's general theme of being Excalibur, related to the medieval times and
That's right.
the King Arthur storyline with the sword.
Right. And we keep with that every year, no matter what. So, my mom always represented Lady of the Lake. And I always represented the High Priestess of Avalon. When my mom stepped down as captain, I did not take over that role. I keep my role as being the High Priestess of Avalon. So that's how I'm introduced at the ball. And our float is just medieval. There's a big statue on the back of it. She's holding a sword. There's shields and lions all around the float. It's really a beautiful float. My king is always King Arthur. My queen is always Queen Guinevere. I always have a Merlin and a Morgana. And our children always represent a medieval theme in their costuming. So we try to put them on a float that matches that. The only other thing is my officers represent the Knights of the Round Table and the Ladies of Avalon. But they don't ride on their own float. They ride with their crew members. So, but they do ride in costume. So there are some things that we keep medieval no matter what. Does not have a bearing on our theme, our overall theme every year, though.
Yeah. So one of the other things about our parade is that we do hold a formal ball every year.
We do. That's my favorite. I absolutely love the ball. Planning for the ball is to me what true Mardi Gras, true traditional Mardi Gras is about. And our ball is very formal, and it's modeled after the old line traditionals. We do obviously have some variances because we are not old line, but the way the ballroom is set up and the way we present our court and that sort of thing is almost magical. And that's our goal, is to make our king and queen feel like they're just in a completely different realm, and that this is the most special night of their entire life. And so the room is decorated. The hallway is always decorated according to our theme. We have medieval banners that we hang up all around the perimeter of the Pontchartrain Center, so that it just really looks like when you walking in, you're walking into a castle. And we always have fancy table decorations and lighted fiber optic stuff going on. And then the presentation of the court usually takes about an hour. And then after that, everybody changes into formal gowns and tuxedos. And then we have a nice dinner, and then we just dance all night long with a live band. And that night, is a lot of work. It's a lot of preparation. It's a high dollar item, setting up the Pontchartrain Center and feeding everybody with an open bar and nice prime rib dinner and that sort of thing is not inexpensive to do. But, when it's all over and done with, it's magnificent memories. And every year, something is special about it, whether it's our theme or the people that are king and queen, or the entire court might be an entire family, and so it's really special for them. Something is always makes it memorable, and that's our entire goal, is just to make beautiful memories for Mardi Gras.
How are our king and queen selected?
Generally speaking, king and queen are on a waiting list, so we have to have people come to us and say, "Hi, I'd like to be king and queen, or king or queen, or king and queen as a couple, or a dad and a daughter or something. Right. Can we be put on the list?" And we put them on a waiting list. So when their year comes up, we call them and we start prepping things. Our king and queen this year are charter members. So they have been in Excalibur for 19 years. They actually got engaged at one of our Mardi Gras balls.
Oh, wow.
And after the ball, he got down on one knee and proposed to her, and they got married, and now they're king and queen together. Nice. So it's truly a love story, and very apropos that we're riding on Valentine's Day for them too. So that is our special this year, is that their charter members got engaged at the ball and are now riding on Valentine's Day. I just think that's so beautiful.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Nice.
That's a lot of fun.
I have a question about the king and queen. What's the average wait time?
The average wait time, it varies. So right now I don't have a ton of people down, so I have gaps in years. So I may have somebody, I know I have a king for 3 years because he's waiting, because his mother wants him to be 18, for example. And I might have a queen in 2 or 3 years. So I kind of have gaps. So the average wait time might be a year or two at the worst for us.
What was the longest wait time? Has there ever been one longer than 10 years, 20 years?
Well, we've only been around for 19 years.
I didn't know if someone got first in and then just never.
No, not for us. Not for us. And it's primarily because we are, in terms of Mardi Gras, we're kind of a new club. Yeah. There are newer clubs than us, obviously, but for the most part, I think no one has waited longer than 4 years for us. Do you want to be king?
Yeah.
Is that what's going on?
King Pickle.
King Pickle. We could do that.
I'd love to see the sequins on that one, man. It'd be all giant pickle outfit, all purple.
All lime green.
Yeah,
all lime green. I don't know about that, but
Come on, that's the color.
So I know that some of the throws that we have ducks.
we do have ducks.
Was there a storyline behind the ducks? Because
Everybody has ducks. It's strange. There's people that collect them just like the balloons.
yeah,
You know.
We don't. There's really no storyline except that one of our bead suppliers showed it to us, and we thought it was a great throw.
Yeah, it's an incredible throw. I just wasn't sure if there was
There's no
a story
storyline.
behind it. Yeah.
You know, part of the things that we talk about as officers, and my throws officer is a big part of all these decisions, is we have to find stuff that's affordable for members to buy, like you.
Right.
You don't want to spend $1.50 on everything you throw off the float. And ducks are something that's inexpensive, and the kids love them. Even the parents love. Everybody, you squeak them before you throw it, and people, you get their attention because it's the right kind of pitch to be heard over the tractors and all the band noise, and people just get excited about it.
I know that one of the other throws that I've heard talk about it, I've never actually seen one. Personalized shields.
The wooden shields, yes. So we do, we have painting parties for those. And so we have little wooden shields. They're about this big. We have a couple different designs with different scallop tops on them. And we just ask our members to customize them based on what they feel and what they want to decorate and hand those out at the parade. A lot of the clubs nowadays do have custom throws. You know, purses and
the purses, the
and
shoes.
plungers and all sorts of things. Holy Grails. King Arthur does Holy Grails. So we do the shields, and we don't probably have a ton of them that go out, but we do have parties, painting parties and decorating parties where, you know, 15 to 20 people will show up at a time and work on their shields for that year.
There's really nothing greater than getting a handmade favor from a parade, though. I mean, I don't really need beads anymore. I collect the balloons, you know, but beyond that, I don't really want anything. I kind of enjoy the parade for what it is and then leave. But if ever I get a handmade item, that's a treasure you keep.
Absolutely.
You know?
And it's a lot of fun to give out handmade items too, because you can pick. And I mean, I'll tell you, I'm guilty. 99% of what I give out is to kids.
Yeah.
Because I just love when their faces light up when they get something from me, whether it's a shield or a stuffed animal or something lighted. To me, the happiness on their face is what I grew up remembering, just getting so excited, getting a special throw handed to me, and as a captain, that's what I want them to remember growing up. So that's I am guilty of that, but I think everybody's okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the only items that I have in my house that you'll see, well, now that I have the 3 generations of doubloons in my house, that's a different story. But generally speaking, it's like, you know, a couple Muses shoes, a bunch of the boots from my dad rides in Carrollton. So we have a bunch of those boots, and then the Disco Amigos records. But those are kind of the only items you'll really see. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean,
those are the ones that are keepers. You know, coconuts and, you know, those kind of things.
Right, beads you're just going to donate back.
Yeah.
So that, you know,
I'll catch them in
St. Michael's or somebody can. Right, you give
know?
the beads away to the little guys, and you let them go home and play like they're having a parade on their sofa.
Yeah. So he had mentioned doubloons.
Yes.
I know our crew, the past several years, we've had some special cutout doubloons.
We have.
Let's see, there was the alligator.
That was for Night on the Bayou.
Then last year, I remember we had the
Coliseum. That's right.
And this year we have.
It's going to be a heart. It's a heart. It's going to be a red heart. And one side of it says Krewe of Excalibur, and the other side says Happy Valentine's Day 2020. So I think people are going to be scrambling after those this year. And then, of course, we have a captain and a co-captain doubloon, and then we have a regular throw doubloon as well. So we have 4 or 5 different ones this year.
We do the Traders Club, so we'll have to stock up on some specials.
I can hook you up. I think I know somebody.
Yeah. We went to buy-ins. I don't know if he purchased yours already, but we'll end up getting a big set. Just kind of make them up for the collectors, you know, because there's so few of us left that we try to. There's really no money exchange anymore. It's just everybody tries to get a whole set.
Sure,
you know?
I understand.
But
I get it.
Yeah.
I know the doubloon collectors are avid parade goers.
Oh, yeah.
They follow us the whole route so that they get a good big stack so that they have bargaining power.
The trading is it's very interesting to see as different people are trading to figure out which ones were the hard to come bys and.
Oh yeah, well, and there's some clubs that They
Yeah,
may have 30 or 40 different doubloons.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, like, I know, like, the crew of Toth has a lot of doubloons.
Yes, they
Toth
do.
had 40-something.
I know the crew of King Arthur has a lot,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
So
they had, I think, like 16 of them this year.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're a smaller crew. We can't quite
Well, Crazy Little Rascals might be the
substantiate.
worst.
Why?
Because they'll
Yeah.
have individual
Oh.
Yeah, the wooden nickels.
And they'll
We did
have
that.
25, 30 of them.
Yes,
There's
the
no way you
wooden
can get 'em
nickels,
all.
I remember that year.
We did it one
we
year
had-
with wooden, and then the next year we did it with aluminum.
Yes.
We had one per. Well, we didn't change what was on the doubloon. We just changed the color. So every float had a different color. That year, and the year we did the wooden nickel,
Every float had
they
its
had
own
the
special.
shirt with their theme for the float, and they had the wooden nickel.
Yes.
I managed to get most of the shirts that year.
That was hard.
Yeah, well, we realized probably 3 floats in or so that, wait a minute, they're different shirts. So
Yeah. So
I was
then you
trying
start
to get
jogging
'em.
down
Yeah,
the.
I managed to get most of them that year.
Yeah, it was. We tried to advertise it as much as we could. I'm sure not everybody heard, obviously, but once people caught on,
Yeah,
we
that-
saw a lot of people 2 and 3 times on the route trying to collect everything they wanted to get.
Speaking of the T-shirts, that does seem to be a hot catch from our parade as well.
It has been. It's been very, very popular. We did it for maybe 4 to 5 years. We're taking a break from it this year just to try to. So everybody, of course, has a mandatory throw package, and
Right.
that mandatory throw package has had the T-shirts in it. Then, if a member wants to buy more, they can. So this year, we just had our float lieutenants decided that they would prefer to have more lighted items in the mandatory throw package because they really felt like the T-shirts had maybe run their course for a little while. So we decided to add so the entire mandatory package is all lighted items.
What's that mean?
So every member has to spend $99 on a throw package. And that throw package consists of 6 or 7 dozen items that are all logo specific for Excalibur and lighted. And
What's the term lighted?
With
You remember the lighted clapstick things?
Yeah.
or bouncy balls that
Yeah,
have lights in
bouncy
them.
balls that have lights
Oh,
in them.
lighted.
Yeah.
Lighted. So the neon necklaces that you crack and you put around your head, or
Yeah.
those are all lighted items. And when we're a night parade, that's what's really most popular.
Yeah.
People want to see the wands, the lighted wands. So this year we got new wands. We have purple, green, and gold, and they're pretty substantial. They're about that big, and a set of dozen has 4 of each color, and so everybody's going to be getting a couple dozen of those. So no matter what, every member will have lighted items to throw this year.
Yeah.
No matter what.
And it's real cool to see from a rider's standpoint when you're rolling down the route and you see everybody waving
Yes.
lighted up sticks and
It is.
the wands and swords and all that
It's
kind of stuff.
fantastic. And of course I'm on the first float, so when I come back up Severn, it's so fun to
Yeah,
see,
you see.
and then I can look back down Veterans, and then I look down Veterans where I'm headed, and it's all dark. Like, I know that's going to be lit up in about an hour. So it is fun to see, and people get excited about it. And these things don't last forever, but it's all about the experience, and people go out to enjoy the experience of a parade coming down the street. That's what we all do this for. It's love of the game. This is all love of the game.
How can people join Excalibur if someone watching this is interested?
Sure. Go to our website and go to the membership tab and click on an application and download it, fill it out and mail it in, or you can click on the store on the membership tab and it'll bring you to our online store and you can fill out an application that way. Dues right now are $350 plus a $99 mandatory throw package. So for $449, you can be a member. That includes, obviously, your throw package, your costume, hat, mask, our pre-parade party, and our after-parade party. And both of those are held at the Family Gras location right next to the big stage.
Right.
We have a big tent set up. We have it catered. We have beer and wine, soft drinks. We have a nice spread, usually hamburgers and jambalaya, red beans, chicken, and stuff.
She said jambalaya?
Yes.
I said jambalaya. Is that good?
That's one of his favorite things. to
Oh, well, we have jambalaya just for you.
eat. So, would you recommend if someone was to be riding? I know you talked about it at our past meeting. The that required throws package, is that enough for someone to ride with?
No, not even close. We do have a $400 package combined with the mandatory 99 package, which gets you $500 worth of throws. That plus a couple other things, maybe a case of cups, some of the stuffed animals you have in your attic to pull down, some friends of yours that know you're going to ride and hand you a couple of bags of beads. Yeah. If you go on with that, if you're a light thrower, that would be substantial. We do have members that throw 3 to 4 times as much as that. It depends on how heavy you throw,
right?
What your budget is. You know, you
we
can
walked
make.
on last year, and 2 guys moved because we had too much stuff. But we ran out. We did it well.
Well, you know, some people throw heavy and some people throw light. On the captain's float, I don't throw anything except lighted items or specialty items. I don't throw any beads off of my float, simply because I don't want to. I know that beads are not really sought after anymore.
Right.
And I want to start off the parade with people seeing a lot of fun stuff coming off of our float. And we do throw, by the way, for doubloon collectors, we throw 6,000 doubloons off of our float.
Wow.
Yeah, so just keep that in mind.
Some people, they just, as soon as the parade starts, they're just throwing something
nonstop
to the very end.
Yep.
Other people, they throw something, they wait a little bit, they throw something.
And some people pick out people.
Yeah.
You know, they're very conscious about what they're throwing to specific people.
Yeah, like people that are paying attention, that are working for that the pick.
Exactly.
You know, because if someone's just sitting there on their phone looking down, they don't obviously deserve what you're throwing.
Well, they don't want it. It's okay.
And then you got the people where you get to the very end of the parade route and they just start taking bags and
chucking
unloading,
stuff.
Like, I'm not unloading this off this.
Yeah.
Like, it took me, you know, like if
You don't want to bring it home.
Yeah, like one of my friends, he'll bring 15, 20 bags on the float.
Right.
And he's like, I'm not carrying this off.
No.
It was hard enough getting it on.
That's right. Well, Family Gras will be happy for that this year. A lot of our members do make a specialty bag, and they did that last year. I know your float lieutenant did that for y'all.
Yes.
Where when you got to Family Gras, you had one specific bag that you were throwing at Family Gras with specialty items. So that the people at Family Gras were kind of rewarded for staying late and watching us to the end. But then, you know, as soon as the parade rolled through, the music cranked back up, everybody turned around and enjoyed the music again. And then as members, we got to enjoy the music and stuff.
And have a celebration.
It was so much fun just ending it in Family Gras and just being able to dance out there and interact with the public and stuff. That was a lot of fun, too. And to me, that was the perfect end to a parade. We've always had an after-parade party, but sometimes by the time you get on the bus and you get back to the party, you're kind of beat up a little bit.
Yeah.
Here, we got off the float, and we were within 15 steps of that party, so your adrenaline never had time to go back down.
Right.
So you got to kind of continue the party for a long time, till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was a great time riding in Excalibur.
It was a lot of fun.
And yeah, I can't wait to ride again this year on February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Yes, it will be.
Do you have any advice for first-year riders or people that have never been to Mardi Gras?
So it's 2 different sets of advice. Advice for first-year riders are to come with enough throws. Don't ride if you don't have the budget to buy throws, because you're not going to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Because when you run out of throws, the public is not generally very kind.
It's an awkward moment.
It's very awkward, and so, you know, be sure that if you're going to ride, you have enough money to purchase throws and support our local community. Mm-hmm. Support Arknola and St. Michael's by buying recycled beads. Yeah. And that's a good way to be able to stock up on a lot of throws. You help the community, but you're not spending a ton of money.
Plus, if you do it like in a monthly or bi-monthly fashion, go get a little bit here and there.
That's exactly right.
It adds up in a hurry.
And places like Beads by the Dozen has throws all year long. So if you have an extra $20 out of your paycheck, go buy a couple dozen Frisbees or you know, something and get stuff all year long so that it's not hitting you all at one time. And, you know, with Excalibur, we offer a lot of throws. And our throws form is online. So you can place an order that's $1,000 and only put 25% down right now, and then you can pay on it up until throws distribution, which is a couple of weeks before the parade. So you have a long time to pay on your throws
Yeah.
order, you know, if you buy all your stuff from us, which we always encourage people to buy the throws from us. This is how we exist. We have a little bit of profit built in. It's certainly not any more profit than anybody else.
Right.
But that profit does help us keep going, and we have to make money in order to put this parade and the ball and everything else on and do all the nice stuff we do. So that is a way to support the crew as well. First-time parade goers, I would say keep your hands out of your pockets and just have fun, because you don't want to get hit with something. And you know, I always throw to people that are screaming, "Throw me something, mister," because that is the traditional call sign for us, right? That's what we want to hear. And if you're going to get out there and you're going to enjoy the parade, be part of the history of it, and throw your arms up in the air, and you know, put the little kids on your shoulders and just enjoy it.
And don't walk through the bands.
Don't
That is my pet peeve. I see people do that. I want to trip them.
Walk through the bands?
Yeah, people would just.
Bands are walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's never very
It's
good.
terrible. It's always, you can always tell as a tourist. No local will do something like that. I mean,
But then, that's why they
we
have
know
the-
better, you know.
That's the purpose of
The usher.
Well, the chaperones and all, but still, people still do it. It just
Yeah, they
drives
do
me crazy.
occasionally.
that's why you gotta tackle them.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
You
up to
just
you.
trip
You're
them.
supposed to protect the band. That's your job.
That's what I do.
And you go to every parade,
I also
so
heckle the bands,
Yeah.
but still.
this is not hard, right?
No, I mean, it's just wait a minute and go around.
I hear you. I understand that.
How did you come into the whole Mardi Gras storyline initially? With you'd mentioned that your mother, like as a child, was she really big into Mardi Gras?
So
or-
yes. So my grandfather, who unfortunately passed away when I was less than a year old, he was a big Mardi Gras person and used to take my mom to all the parades. And she just grew up loving Mardi Gras, so it was instilled in me from a very young age as well. And then my mom and my dad were involved in a crew back in the 80s, and my mom was queen. And of course, I was on the court as a little lady in waiting and stuff. That particular crew made their own costumes. And so my mom and dad and myself used to go to their house at nights and on weekends and help them make their costumes. And that was when I was about 7 to 8 years old. And so that's how we actually got into the costuming business, which is, of course, not related to Excalibur, but kind of
But,
related
yeah.
to Excalibur. So, you know, fast forward a few years, and that's how D&D Creations was born, was that my dad learned how to make the wire work. My mom learned how to cover. Next thing you knew, somebody that knew my mom and dad called them and said, "Hey, I'm starting a Mardi Gras club. Would you mind making me a few headpieces?" They made 3 headpieces, and that was in 1983. And in 2019, we deliver $1.2 million worth of costumes.
And I've seen the costumes and the collars and the
Yes.
dresses and everything that y'all make. As I have a friend of mine who actually works for you,
Absolutely.
and yeah, just seeing, you know, sometimes when I'll go by her house, she's, you know, working on designs and putting together
Yes.
pieces.
And Nikki is one of our master wire workers now, and she's been with us for, I guess, at least 7 years. My dad has trained her from the ground up, and now she's training people to help us. And every single thing we do is hand done. The seamstresses cut the patterns, everything from hand. The wire is all made from hand. All the sequins are glued on by hand. Everything is done by hand in that shop.
To give people, I guess, an idea, it costs a lot to make those costumes as well.
It does cost a lot to make them, and it's
And
a
to
lot
put
of
on
man
a
hours.
parade.
Yeah, the collars, the size of Excalibur's King and Queen collars, take upwards of 120 man hours each, from start to finish. And I mean, you multiply that out, and it takes quite a bit to, you know, dress Mardi Gras in general.
Yeah.
But for Excalibur, you know, D&D Creations makes Excalibur costumes, and we do some of the biggest in the industry, and that's kind of our showpieces. Because we do run Excalibur and we do run D&D Creations, so those are kind of our showpieces to show what we're capable of. And we put some pretty stuff on the street, and we've been known for that since the beginning. So
Yeah.
for 19 years, people have always commented how beautiful our collars and everything are.
Yeah. And I know that you design, way more than just Excalibur as well.
We do.
The list, if I were to start reading the list off, you'd cut me off and be like, just say the ones that we don't.
There's quite a bit that we
Yeah.
don't do, but
There's a lot.
we're very proud of the clubs that we do have a loyal relationship with, and it's not just in New Orleans. We actually cover 5 states. We have people from Texas come see us, from Arkansas, Mississippi, and Florida. We even have people from Tampa, Florida fly in and come and meet with us and then rent a truck and drive their stuff back.
I've seen the Florida parade, and there is nothing spectacular about the Florida parades at all, but your pieces have to be the highlights of their costuming.
Well,
for sure.
I've never been down there to actually see the
they are
parade, but
It's
they
very
do.
dull.
They put a big effort into their costuming, but they just don't have the float building skills that a lot of our
Right.
float builders, and they don't have the crowds that go out, and the bands and the dancing. You have to remember that a parade is not just a pretty costume.
Right.
There's a lot of pieces that go into making a fantastic parade,
Right.
and it's definitely not one person that makes it a success. So, and people don't realize, I think, how much time and energy it takes. We have a board of directors of 10 people, and we work tirelessly all year long to make this happen, as does every Mardi Gras group.
Right.
We think about our parade probably every single day, and we run 2 bingos a week, and that bingo money is what's used to put the parade on. There's very strict regulations about what we can use the bingo money for. It's only allowed to be used on the parade. But we have one of our officers, and that is his sole job, is to run those bingo games. And then we have other officers and members that help work the game as well.
Well, besides the planning that happens all throughout the year, the crew is active throughout the year with different gatherings.
We are. We do something every month. We formed ourselves based on the desire for people to get together and socialize. So we are very much a social organization. We do have a lot of out-of-town members. For example, your float. Most of the people on your float are from out of town. So
Right.
we don't see them but once a year. But there is a handful of people, probably 25% of the club, that regularly meets we have meetings, we have Rock and Bowl coming up, we have our crowning of our king and queen, and then once a month we have what we call a night out, spelled KNIGHT, and we pick a place to go to dinner, and everybody is Dutch, but we just get together and just socialize, just have dinner together once a month. So every month we have something to do. When it gets closer to December and stuff is when we start working with our philanthropic groups that we usually support. Last year was One Heart NOLA with the foster children. We had a meeting and we asked people to donate diapers and clothing and that sort of thing to help out DCSF with clothing foster children that come into their office before they get placed with a foster parent. So we're pretty passionate about the philanthropic work that we do, but we are a small organization, so we can only do so much. But we do, we try to help as much as we can with those sorts of things.
Yeah. Is there any place where people can follow Excalibur?
Yeah, we have a Facebook page, just Krewe of Excalibur, and then we also have a website, which is www.kreweofexcalibur.com. And we keep that updated. We have an upcoming events page that we keep updated. And I probably post to the Facebook page once a week or once every other week, depending on the events that are coming up. Like Friday night, we had a night out. So a couple days before that, I put the information about the night out up just to remind people of what's coming up. We'll have a crew meeting next week, so that'll be up very soon here. And then about the Rock and Bowl. So we kind of keep the members updated through Facebook primarily. Because I think everybody follows that pretty religiously.
Yeah.
So again, I want to thank you for coming on. If you'd like to learn more about Excalibur, I encourage you to go check them out. Crewofexcalibur.com.
That's it.
Or on Facebook, facebook.com/Krewe of Excalibur.
Yep.
We hope to see you out on the parade route. So till the next show, thanks for tuning in.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras.
Happy Mardi Gras! Thank you again for tuning in to us tonight. Also, thank you to tonight's guests. Be sure to check out our guests. We have the links below in the description. here on the audio and video podcast. And also, you can follow us if you like what you're seeing.
It's on Facebook at Parade Route Tales.
Yeah. And also, we're on Instagram at Parade Route Tales. And on Twitter, it's at Parade Route Tale. If you're not subscribed already, subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/The Scoop Show Network. We're trying to put as much content out there. We've been putting pictures and sharing different
Small
events.
videos,
And
little clip hits of what's coming up, future scene events of our guests. So, yeah, keep an eye out.
yeah, so, thank you for tuning in. Signing out. We'll see you on the route.
Happy Mardi Gras. All right.